Alrighty, so we have a brand new Pixar film. I love Pixar. They've made some absolutely phenomenal films, whether it's the entire Toy Story trilogy, Ratatouille, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo. They just have all of these classics. But my expectations going into this film were actually not very great. I didn't like the trailers at all. I just was not a fan. I was way more excited for movies like Soul or a movie like Lightyear coming up, but this kind of just went under my radar a little bit after I was kind of disappointed by the first trailer. And seeing it, I'm very medium on it. I think it's a great coming of age story. I think that May was a interesting character, to say the least, that I'll get to later. And I just think that they did the coming of age stuff quite solid for what the story was trying to tell. I thought the animation took a little getting used to. It's very emoji-like, which usually I wouldn't love, but I sort of felt like with a movie like this about all of these bubbly 13-year-old girls, I thought that that worked very well, even though this is set in the 2000s, which, by the way, that time period will never not be interesting in film, and I really enjoyed seeing that. I think that it's really fast-paced, and it maybe was a little too fast-paced. Unlike in other Pixar films where you have a lot of those Pixar moments that are very memorable, I think that this movie is just going so unreasonably fast that you didn't really get any special moments throughout the film. Now, it's kind of just going extremely fast, and I didn't love the way they did that. Now, I do think the voice work on this is absolutely insane. Rosalie Chang, who plays May, she does a great job as this 13-year-old girl. I think that with everything that was written for the character, I think that she does that very well. And Sandra Oh as Ming Li, or May's mother, is just proving herself time and time again to be a great actress, and she does that very well here. Some very nice voice work from her. I think May was incredibly annoying for the first two acts of the film. Everything she did in the first two acts just made me mad. I thought in the first act she was just flat out annoying, and in the second act she's trying to be rebellious, but also she does some very selfish things to not only her family, which is what everybody sort of expected going into this, that she's going to rebel against her family, but she does some things to her friends as well. And I thought the red panda metaphor was interesting. It was unexpected, not necessarily a bad thing. I'll leave it to all of you when you actually watch the movie. Pixar's pushing a lot of boundaries here, and I'll get to that later as well. I did like how the red panda connected to May's culture. I thought a lot of that was really interesting. Seeing May and her mom's relationship, as well as the grandma and all of the aunts as well, sort of showing up and doing their thing. I thought that was well done. And Ming Li is an incredibly overbearing mother, and I thought that might have been overdone sometimes. As I said earlier, the movie's moving very fast, so it sort of just felt like her mom was showing up literally every 5 minutes to come and fix something or change something or further the plot, and I didn't like that very much. And like I said earlier, this movie is pushing a lot of boundaries, whether it's some of the jokes they make and even just the subject matter. I think especially the first half, they are doing something that was kind of surprising. It's a very targeted audience here. It doesn't mean others can't enjoy it, but it's very much targeting ages 10 to 14, that sort of area. But obviously others can enjoy it as well. I mean, I thought the movie was entertaining. It was surprisingly mature at moments. I think it alienates some of the audience. I think that a lot of younger kids are not going to understand some of what's happening in this film, and a lot of the jokes I don't think will be understood. It's a little off-putting at some moments, but I think that for the most part, the film does everything very well. I really liked May and her relationship with her friends. I thought that her friends were very well written, and I think that they were very realistic, and I liked the way that was. The whole movie's very just bizarre and kind of hard to talk about because there are things to spoil. I think you should make your own opinion on any movie, but I don't really know how reviews are going to help people articulate their thoughts, because everybody's is completely different on what this film should be and what it is. I thought that this was definitely different, which I liked. I think that a lot of the most recent Pixar movies have been unfamiliarly formulaic for Pixar, very familiar for any other studio, but for Pixar they were kind of formulaic. This is not formulaic. If you want something different, you're gonna like this. I think it's a 5.5 out of 10. It's not an average movie because it's something very special and very different, yet it didn't hit me as hard as other Pixar films, and with the amounts of negative and positive sort of things that I had about this, I feel like a good score would be between a 5 and a 6 out of 10. That's just where I'm landing for this. I very much think that some people are going to love this and some people are going to hate this. So overall, tell me your thoughts on this film. I thought it was fine, I guess, kind of medium. I have some upcoming stuff coming as well. I will hopefully have the Adam Project reviewed very soon, as well as some other videos, of course. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and see you guys.